Heyo, I'm Mr. Shark Studios, promote to a Minecraft video. If you've been with my channel for some time, you might have clicked on this video thinking it's clickbait, but you did anyways, lol. If you scroll back through the video tab on my channel, you'll see some Minecraft build videos. Now, this is why I said you might have thought this is clickbait. Looking at them, you'll clearly see some differences in the skill level for only 11 months ago. The truth is that all my Minecraft build videos, except for the last two, were recorded before I even made my channel in October 2018. Anyways, I'm going to be building an ice castle today, but before we get into that, join my Discord. Link's in the description, and it's a fun, currently mostly dead server where you can talk to other people. I mean, that's what Discord is for, right? One more note before I get building: if you see something suddenly appear while I'm building, it's either a command like copy paste, another world edit command, or I forgot to resume recording replay mod after I paused it. Anyways, let's start building. First, I find a good location to start a front wall. With the location found, I plan out a large tower on one side and a small building on the other, along with twin towers in the middle as a sort of a gatehouse. Next, I try out a few different roofs for the towers before setting on a tall, flat-sided roof with a gable on each side. I try to add some more details to the walls to make them less bland and detail part of the tower. Then, I build up the castle more, adding battlements on each level. This first part of your build is very important as it determines the whole style of your build. Moving to the side, I add a rounded corner and start growing the castle back, of course adding plenty of detail in the way. I make a lower level with rounded corners protruding from the castle walls and start part of a side building on it. I make sure I add plenty of windows and designs to make it interesting. At this point, it's Sunday, and since I'm not supposed to do any gaming on this day, I work on other things. Here's the blueprint I made up on Sunday. It has the parts I already built, like here and here. I also drew this frontal view first, so I could get a feel of what the building would look like frontally, have more details, and then I made a schematic of it with all the buildings, like this main hall and the secondary hall coming off the side of it, just so I get an idea of how to build and continue in Minecraft, because I tend to get stuck. Also on Sunday, I made up some lore which also acts as a guideline for details, especially for what certain things in the story that I have to build in game. With Monday, I can resume building. With the new plan, I start by moving back to the front of the castle and expanding a little, adding another small tower and extending the walls. After that, I start mapping out the castle to the plan I drew the previous day. I also fill in the castle, so I'd have a flat surface to work with. Next, I work on the lower section of battlements on the west side of the castle. I copy-paste more towers in at the corners and outline it with battlements. Against the plan, I actually extend out a part of the upper section into the lower section. Then, I build up two small buildings. I start to work on the main hall building, but in order to get the height right, I built the roof on the small building that I already started. I add gables similar to those on the small towers to fill in some empty space on the roof. With that done, I return to the main building and measure out the height. Finding the proper height, I construct a balcony and decorate the rest of the building. After finishing half the building, I copy it over to the other side and finish the middle with more details. The building is flanked by battlements on each side, so I connect the two buildings with a platform before moving to the other side. These battlements connect to the second hall, so I plan out the layout, which includes two towers at the corners. On the right hand of the structure, I build up a small building that connects to a tower before continuing to work on the hall. I didn't quite like the tower, so I rebuilt it, making it slimmer and shorter than before. Next, I try out a couple different roof angles before deciding on a weird slant between 45 and 60 degrees. I finish up the details, including a large circular window, before moving on to the towers. For the tower roofs, I mimic the roofs of the smaller towers, including flat sides and large gables. Once it's finished, I copy it to the other side. Next, I plan out a giant and two smaller towers at the back of the castle. I detail and finish one of the small towers and copy it to the other before moving on to the large main tower. You'll see I actually delete the tower, and I do so for two reasons. First of all, the roof was actually too tall and it hit the build limit, apparently my diagram was too accurate, and secondly, from the ground it didn't look very nice. Since there is no build up in height with the other buildings, it looked bad and out of place. So while I think about what to do with that corner, I work on the barrack area on the opposite side. Moving around the castle, I build up the battlements and make the foundations for the diagonal building at the back. Copy-paste in the front of the main structure to the back, I clean it up and fit it snugly with the surrounding battlements. I also include two small buildings with towers to serve as the gatehouse on this side of the castle. This side will connect up with a market street in the future, so the gate will only be used if the town is overrun. Beneath the gatehouse, I continue the staircase down, including several tiers of defenses. Finally, it's time to address the northwest corner of the castle. Keeping the round shape, I build up battlements and detail the walls. I like the smaller towers, so I try to incorporate them back into the castle. I actually end up shortening them, and I omit the lower section to make them fit into place better. At last, it's time to work on the dreaded diagonal building. I build it up before adding details, making sure to add plenty of windows and of course, pillars for support. I tried multiple different roofs, but none of them seemed to work. After taking a break, going outside and smashing a bunch of sticks in half, and showering because I'm itchy as hell, I figure out the solution and implement it. Despite this, I still think it's probably incorrect, but whatever. Seriously, diagonal roofs are a massive pain, and I never want to do another one. I fill in the roof to the main building next, bringing it together as a whole building rather than just two faces. After the interiors are planned, I add massive dormers into the roofs to make them more interesting. These will also introduce more light into the rooms and make them tons brighter. Next, I finish the insides of the chambers. I'm going to show you the making of one room's interior, the hall, as it's the only room big enough to show. That being said, it was still pretty tricky to film. If you don't see anything happening, it's probably off camera. Anyways, I start by connecting the stairs from the upstairs to the ground. I probably wouldn't want to be an official in this castle because it's a lot of stairs. I copy paste one side to the other and connect an upper hallway all the way around the room. After adding some small pillars in the corners, I plan out some massive columns to support the ceiling. Speaking of the ceiling, I'm not just going to leave the top of the hall bland, so I design an elaborate pattern and copy paste it down the room. After pasting columns down the room as well, I decorate the walls. With most of the room detailed, I start on the throne. Originally, I tried to make things similar to peacock feathers spreading from the throne, but it soon turned into this abstract tree shape, which, in my opinion, still looks pretty cool. Now, I completely separate the room, adding in windows and lights around the middle of the hall. I don't show it, but I replace some blocks in the ceiling pattern to light up as well. After adding lights to the columns, I detail the ends of the hall, being sure to include many end rods to keep the place bright. Now for the floor. I construct a pattern using stairs and beacons to make it detailed as well as lit. I also felt like the place needs some statues. I make a head, however I actually had to reference Trixie Block's statues from his underground kingdom to figure out how the heck to make a decent statue. I finished it off with a cloak and a belt, and I'd say it looks pretty good. The hall is now done, so I go back outside and build a bridge to connect the two halves of the castle together. I found an incomplete part in the battlements and finished it off as well with a style used elsewhere along the walls. Back at the front of the castle, I finished the tower I started at the very beginning of the build, giving it the same style roof as the others. After this, I detail various smaller towers around the castle, ending up at the gatehouse, which I also complete. With that done, I move over to the secondary hall and place a few dormers in its roof to keep it in the same style as the rest of the castle. Once again, I'm forced to detail the rest of the diagonal building and give it the signature circular window on both sides. Now for the daunting task of detailing the side of the hall. I plan out pillars and separate the wall into multiple sections. This allows me to build a section once and copy paste it to other sections. I discover some issues in the alignment of the large dormers in the hall's roof. Right after I quit the day, I come up with a solution, but I had to wait till the next day to actually do anything about it, which of course drove me crazy. With the dormers realigned, I added in fireplaces and chimneys to accommodate the lower of the castle before moving back down to the walls of the hall. I didn't quite like the previous pattern as it was rather messy, so I deleted it and started again, this time making the windows more distinct and hanging giant banners of the castle's colors. Next, I advanced to the tallest roof so that it's not so bland and fits in with the rest of the castle's roofs. With the main castle finished, I construct wall segments that will comprise the outer wall. I start placing them around the castle, but stop to do a little bit of terraforming. One more thing before the castle is done, is the bridge. Of course I had to make a grand entranceway leading up to the place. After mapping out the bridge's route, I construct supports that will dig deep into the frozen lake's bottom. Originally, there was supposed to be a small separate castle that served as a gatehouse to the bridge, but I decided not to make one as I was stressed for time since this build was technically for competition. Instead, I built up a platform to the bridge, giving it a solid foundation. Since this part is still on an island, I continued the bridge over to the mainland, adding in more supports. Finally, it's time to work on the town. I construct several houses using a drab, monotonous color palette that will give some contrast to the castle. I know I said I never want to make another diagonal building again, but I make another diagonal house just for some variety. Yes, the roof took forever. With all the houses done, it's time to start planning out the town. But first, I do a little bit of terraforming. There's a massive cave in the town's area, but I don't feel like filling it in. So instead, I build up a gate and say there are evil monsters trapped inside. I continue the road, bringing it to a bit of a town center. Branch off one side and lead it up to a farm. According to the lore, the farms are frozen solid, so I use warped roots as frozen wheat. I make sure there's an irrigation system running through the farm, although it's frozen over so it's technically ice. Now with the farms done, it's finally time to make some roads. Alas, the terrain is steep on the south side of the town, so make stilted versions of some of the houses. With all the houses done, I placed down the normal versions around the streets. I make a small park area in the middle of the block, including trees and benches, a lovely place to enjoy a picnic. I also add a wall around the monster's cave, accompanied by a fountain and a couple benches. With that out of the way, I continue placing down houses, using the stilted variants for the rougher terrain. After the houses are placed, I add in small details like lights and banners to liven up the place a little bit more. The space beneath the stilted houses seemed a bit empty, so I planted trees to fill it in a bit more. I also extended the existing forest out a bit to meet up with it. For the last stretch of the build, I construct a generic shop that I can copy-paste around and make each unique interiors. I leave a lot open for a trading area where wandering traders and their carts can park and do business. I struggle with some cart designs before referencing my older design to create a more compact trailer so that I can place a bunch around. Unfortunately, I forgot to resume recording with replay mod, so you can't actually see me build them. At this point, I made interiors for all the buildings, but don't ask me why the item frames and banners are glitched. To finish off the build, I added in a few more houses and some trees to fill in dead space. That's it, the build is done. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know what I didn't enjoy? Making all these voice lines. So leave a comment if you like them or not, because I might not do them next time. Anyways, if you want to get the world, leave a like, because if you get this video to 3 likes, I'll find a way for you to download it for free somehow. I'll include a copy of the lore somewhere in the build, so you have to do a little searching for it. One more thing before the video ends, the epic cinematic. Alright, let's see if I can actually make one of these. I forgot to mention earlier that the world comes with 3 other builds along with this one. A Japanese temple, amphibia, and a dirt mansion, so be sure to leave a like if you want them. I also came up with a little riddle to help you find the lore, since there's a lot of houses. One final thing, shout out to Elemental Collapse for the render you're about to see, and the build in the clickbait thumbnail in the beginning is his too. One last time, thanks for watching.